Am I live? I think I'm live. Yeah, we're here. We're here. Awesome. Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Hot Pod Podcast live on Instagram. Today we have got Dr. Shahira Saad from LA, and she's going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about the program she did after her university. So she did what's called the AEGD at UCLA. And here she is. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, nice to see you.
Good. I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. Excited to be here. My first Instagram live. So
Yeah,
crazy.
so we've broken the duck for you. We've got loads of guys joining. Where are you all joining us from, guys? And if you didn't manage to get a question in about the AEGD program, going to university in LA, there's a little question button down the bottom. Definitely get those in, and we'll be answering everything that we can today.
Yeah, just a quick little background for those of you who don't know me. My name's Dr. Shahira. I'm a new dentist. I graduated from an AEGD program with UCLA in Venice Beach in 2019. So I've been in private practice for almost about 1 year after that. So I'm fresh out. I know everything about AEGDs and GPRs. I was just there. I just applied and finished one. So now's a really good time to get your questions asked.
Yeah, it's perfect time. So we've got loads of guys joining us. I can see Worthing from the UK, Dr. Irene's from DC, Saudi Arabia. So we've got
Wow.
Ukraine as well. So we're worldwide. It's awesome, perfect. Um,
Crazy.
what first thing I've got to ask is, what going all the way back to just finishing your undergrad, what made you decide, okay, dentistry is the thing that I want to do? And then why? Well, I'm not going to say why UCLA because it's LA. But why did you choose the school that you chose?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, dentistry. Why I chose dentistry. So I'm a first generation college student. So I was the first to go to college. I always had a fascination with healthcare, and that was really my strength. So I was kind of considering all healthcare options. So at first I thought maybe medicine.
Yeah.
So I did my undergrad at UCLA also. So while I was there, I did research in the emergency room at Ronald Reagan. And that was kind of my first taste for what a medical resident's life was. Granted, not the most unbiased view because it was emergency medicine.
Mm.
Um, but that's kind of when I knew maybe this wasn't for me. And I remember asking one of the current residents, oh my gosh, like I'm pre-med, I want to go to medical school. Like, would you do it again? Are you happy? And he
Like,
kind of
no, don't do it.
he kind of told me, honestly, no. Like, if I was decent with my hands, I would have went to dental school. Look into that. And I
Mm.
was like, really, dental school? So then I started doing some evidence-based dentistry research at UCLA. I volunteered at the UCLA Dental School, and then how that volunteer program worked is you volunteered in multiple different departments. So the preclinical lab, the regular clinic, in the chart room at the time. That was before they went digital. So I was really immersed into the dental school life, and I saw how hands-on dentistry was, and
Yeah.
I was sold. Like, I'm an artist. I love to draw and paint, and anything hands-on is really fun for me. It doesn't really feel like work. And like the idea of like perfecting a craft was really exciting to me.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like dentistry was the best of both worlds. It was like hands-on enough. It was also science and healthcare related. And then the other great thing about dentistry is I'm sure a lot of people who are in this Instagram live know is there's entrepreneurial advantages as well. You can own your own business. So you can take it a lot of different ways. So I really like that flexibility that dentistry has.
Yeah, you could go, super academic in dentistry, or you could go to like a more of a surgical sort of thing, or you could do like there's so many options, kids. You could work with older people doing dentures and things like that. So you kind of got the same ideas and kind of themes as a medical degree, but it's 9 to 5. No one's calling you at 2 a.m. and going
Yeah,
to
for the
shift,
most
anything like
part, we're
that.
still helping people, getting them out of
Yeah,
pain. But I mean, it is nice to not, no one's dying on you. um, that's kind of nice. And you can work as an associate and be really happy, or you can own your own thing. So, like, more or less, it's kind of up to you. You can make it your own. So I really like that.
Yeah, somebody's saying that Doctors Sans Borders is saying a lot of doctors get burnt out and not really valued in the UK. I'm sure that happens, in quite a few places, but yeah, we need to find a good work-life balance. And then Laura is saying she's a podiatrist, and last year her dentist and Max Fax team saved her life with Ludwig's angina. So yeah, we
That's
do
awesome.
some very important work sometimes.
Yes, I'm not belittling what us dentists do. We do great things, but I'm just saying it's a little bit less stress. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
sure.
open heart surgery. It just
Yeah,
isn't.
for sure. And then kind of you went through dental school. What was the best part of dental school for you? Like, what did you really enjoy? Like looking back.
Dental school is really tough. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of stressful
Finishing.
moments, especially at UCLA. But I think just like looking back at it after finishing like a crazy round of like 10 finals in a row, you're like, whoa, I did that. And just kind of celebrating with your closest friends, because you get really close to those people. Like, no one can really understand what you went through except those people. So I guess just the friendships you make and like going through a crazy time together and then celebrating after is really rewarding.
What was your celebration kind of tactic? Because I remember after we finished exams, I more or less spent most of my money on clothes every single time.
Oh my gosh, that's me. I always treated myself to something. I was like, I bought an outfit or went to Sephora. That was really fun. Oh, all of us girls would get our nails done. That was a big thing.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. No, it's one of the things. Like I'm just like kind of as you were saying. Oh yeah, we used to go out celebrating. I was like, what did I do? And we used to go into town because we didn't want to talk about the exam. Just as soon as the exam
just be over it.
I don't care what answer you got for 2A. I don't care. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down there. I'm going to get some food. It was normally like grilled chicken and chips. And then we're going to go to the shops and we're going to buy whatever stupid thing that I see.
Yeah,
and then I'm going to wear that and regret it 2 weeks later. And then obviously, yeah, you finish kind of what point in dental school though? Because obviously a lot of the guys are tuning in to find a little bit more about this AEGD program. You've got AEGD, you've got GPR, you've got specialist programs. You could go into private practice. You could go into, so many different things you could do. Yeah. Why did you choose kind of the AEGD?
So I think if you're in dental school, you first need to decide, do I want to be a general dentist or am I interested in a specialty? So like, that's the very basic thing. So people go in thinking, like I went in thinking I wanted to do ortho, bent one wire and was like, hell no. Bless you.
It's not Corona, please, I tell you.
Let me get my mask. So go into it with an open mind. You're going to get experiences in all the specialties in dental school, a little bit of endo, a little bit of ortho, oral surgery, and kind of let those experiences shape you. Now, when you start exploring more down the line that you're really into, that's when you need to start gathering more research about the topic. So if I'm interested in oral surgery, I'm going to start shadowing in the oral surgery residency program my dental school has. I'm going to volunteer in more oral surgery related clubs, things like that. I'm going to do research related to that. I'm going to get a mentor who's an oral surgeon that's going to help guide me. I'm going to start preparing for this test. I have to study for that specialty. So that's first things first. So in dental school, me personally, at one point, I thought I wanted to be an orthodontist. I thought I wanted to be a pedodontist. I literally went through every specialty, and then I was like, maybe I should just do general. Like, I really personally like the variety, so that's why I chose general dentistry. I also want to own my own private practice at one point, which you can do as a specialist. I would say it's a little less common, but totally a thing. And then I really have an interest in smile design and sort of like a more cosmetic aspect of it as well. General dentistry
stuff around that is so cool. Like we've been speaking to a few guys recently, and the whole iTero and digital smile design, and the things that we can now do is like really, really crazy. And probably like 10 years ago wasn't a thing. So it's super cool these days.
Yeah, but some people really just want to be super good at this one thing and do it every day and know that they're the best at it, and that's great, and then you should be a specialist. But if you want the variety, which honestly is more challenging because you can't be amazing number one at everything. So you kind of have to learn to bounce around. Then you should do general dentistry. Now, for general dentistry, you have to decide, do I want to go straight into private practice? Do I want to go to corporate dentistry world? Do I want to do a GRE or an AEGD? So that's the next question you have to decide. And this kind of depends on your situation. So the first thing I think it depends on is where you went to dental school. Be honest with yourself. Did your dental school adequately prepare you to be a general practitioner? Or was it more of a specialty focused school that was really big on academia and research, and maybe your hand skills weren't the best? Just be honest with yourself. So if you didn't go to a school that gave you as many opportunities you had in the clinic, then that could be a reason to do an AEGD or GRE. Now, the other thing is, like, are your parents dentists? Is your dad LA's #1 dentist who took every Coyson Spear class and can teach you his ways and like all of that? Then why would you do an AEGD or GRE? You have that. If you have any sort of mentor that's going to take you under their wing, don't waste your time. I didn't have that. So
was that a veiled comment at someone?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to build my confidence, to build my speed, and I went into finding my program based on specific skills I wanted to learn. So for me, I really wanted to improve on my surgical skills, which I felt like I didn't get pretty much any of in dental school, if I'm being honest. And then just a better understanding of smile design, like actually knowing why we do what we do and then implementing that. Those were my 2 objectives, and I really feel like I got that in my residency. So the question I kept getting a lot when I opened up the question poll the other day for this live was, what is the difference between an AEGD and a GPR? So a GPR,
that was mine as well.
Residency, an AEGD, advanced education in general dentistry. So the technical difference of what's supposed to be the difference is a GPR are usually more hospital based. You tend to learn things more like IV sedation, how to treat very complex, medically complex patients with a lot of comorbidities. You sometimes get experience with special needs patients doing dentistry in a hospital setting when someone's completely sedated. And then an AEGD is supposed to be more private practice like. Kind of their goal usually is to make a super GP, someone who feels really comfortable doing a lot of different things and doesn't have to refer as much. That's usually the mission. Now, I will say that there are GPRs that are very AEG-like, and there are AEGDs very GPR-like. So it kind of doesn't matter.
You got to look at the individual program.
100%. That's like the biggest advice I can give to people is first think, what do I want to learn? Like, if you want to learn molar endo and periosurgery, now start finding a program that does a lot of that. Now, how do you do that? You can go to their website or visit the program and shadow. Or if you're across the country, the best way is to ask the program director to connect with a current resident, and you can email them. And I know when I was in residency, I got emailed like 3 or 4 times by people who wanted to go to my program, and I would just very candidly tell them what I felt the strengths and weaknesses were, and then you can see if it's for you or not.
Yeah, we've got a question. Sarah is a undergrad. She's just finished her first year. What advice would you give to her as a pre-dental? This is slightly changing the topic a little bit, but I want to get the question.
Oh, no problem. Dental. That's so exciting. That's so exciting. If I'm being completely candid, dental schools, the first and foremost, you need a good GPA and a good DAT score. So first and foremost, you need to work on that. Okay, now after that's out of the way, they really want to make sure that you've taken the time to decide if dentistry is right for you. So how do you do that? You shadow, you volunteer, you do dental related research, whatever interests you, do that so that you can candidly say that you know what it's like to be a dentist and you're interested in it. Because they don't want you, for your sake, they don't want you to go into dental school, hate your life, and drop out. It's not for everybody.
It's just a waste of everyone's time then, isn't it, really? Probably the advice I would give there is there are programs out there. Like in Detroit, my uncle runs a free clinic, in like one of the more kind of deprived areas where people haven't got the insurance you guys normally need to have to get treatment, and they just treat people for free. You know, people come in 1 day a week, you know, as a dentist or whatever, but they have pre-dentals, pre-meds, nursing students coming in. That could be something which is really useful if there are programs like that around. Just to bolster maybe your CV and say, actually, I've actually been in there and witnessed a lot of dentistry happening, and I know it's for me. So that could be something as well if there's something similar to that where you are.
Yeah, there's so many of those opportunities all over the country, I'm sure in other countries as well. So just get your feet wet a little bit, do your research, and just have fun with the journey too. Don't get lost too much into, I need to get into dental school. I think I definitely did that, and that would be my advice.
Yeah. I think Irene's saying, what location will you open in when you open your practice?
Oh, that's a question. Yeah, I wish I knew the answer to that. So I, like I said, did all my training at UCLA, and I live in Santa Monica right now, and I practice at a few different practices throughout LA. And I really like Southern California, but I am from Scottsdale in Arizona, and that's where my family is. So the two contenders are, do I stay in LA or do I go back to Scottsdale? So stay tuned. I'm not sure myself, so I'll let you know when I know.
TBC. Do you feel you can learn better with a mentor, or is it better to go to a school for your specialty? I think for a specialty, if you want to be a specialist, then you need to go to a school program. Yeah, and if you just want to get good, then a mentor could be enough for you if they're interested in the same things, and they're going to give you the time and effort that you're going to require as a young dentist.
Yeah, honestly, there's nothing more valuable in dentistry than having a mentor, because once you get out of school, and especially if you own your own practice, and you're isolated, you're on an island. So if you don't have a mentor, how do you grow? No one's watching over you. So, I mean, we know that in our field, everything, like we said, is always changing. You always have to grow. So really find someone you're like, oh, I love the way he practices dentistry. I love the way he works with his patients, and I like his quality of work, he or she. And then, if you can have a mentor and someone like that, that is the most valuable thing in private practice, I think.
Yeah, somebody's asking what the topic for today is. So we're kind of talking, Paramish, about the AEGD program in the States and the different options, why you might want to do it, what the other options are, and then kind of general chat around dental school and LA and things like that. So a little bit open-ended, but that's kind of where we're looking.
Yeah. Another question I got a lot of, I want to knock some of these out because they were asked a few times, was, do you get paid for an AEGD or only if you do a program in a hospital? And my understanding, at least when I was in one 2 years ago, almost all, if not all, I'm not sure, I don't want to say all, you do get paid. Whether you're in a hospital or in an AEGD, it's a residency. Now, you don't get paid a lot. The typical residency salary is between $50,000 and $60,000. Even if you're specializing, that's usually what it's about. But you do get paid, so that it's nice. You get something.
It's better than paying them the same amount.
Yes, which some specialty programs you do have to pay. Specialized, not AEGD GPR, but I know some ortho programs are like that. But the overwhelming majority, most all residencies, you do get paid.
Yeah. Hello from Canada, Alberta. This is a pre-dent. How much shadowing do you think is enough? And dentistry, you realized it quite early on, didn't you? Kind of in your undergrad.
Yeah. How much shadowing is enough? So some dental schools really put a lot of emphasis on this. Like I know the Arizona dental schools, you need tons of hours. And other ones maybe not as much. So first of all, get enough shadowing experience so you feel comfortable in your decision to go into dental school. That's the most important. Second of all, make sure your GPA and DAT are good, because like I said, that's more important than anything, no matter what they tell you. And then third of all, do your research on your dream school. And if you talk to the current students, and if they keep saying, oh, they value shadowing or volunteering the most, then do that. If they say we value research the most, then do more of that. So that would be my strategy.
Yeah. What stuff did you do for your kind of entry to UCLA dental school?
Yeah, so I did evidence-based dentistry research. I actually was lucky enough to have one publication, a chapter in a textbook. So I thought that was really big. I was really excited about that. Like I said, I did my volunteering at UCLA Dental School. And
Yeah.
then the other thing UCLA offered that was really cool was a course called the Basic Dental Principles course. So that was a hands-on course. It was a didactic and a hands-on course. So it was actually the current dental students would give these mini lectures about very basic things like
Mm.
teeth anatomy or a class one prep and fill. And they would teach us, and then we would go in the lab and actually do that on the Typodont. So as a pre-dental, we would, I did like a class one composite and amalgam, and we poured
Oh,
up
cool.
modeling, took impressions, and so that was a really good taste of, as a pre-dental, that was really eye-opening for me. So those were some of the things I did. I also had things unrelated to dentistry. I've always been really big into community clinics and volunteering. And then I'm Lebanese. I was the social chair for the Lebanese club. That was fun, not related to dentistry at all. But yeah, so things like that. So just do your dental stuff, but also do what interests you also.
Yeah. Question just come in. Just finished D1 from Canada as well. Did you do anything extra during dental school to learn about practice ownership?
Ooh, that's a really
That's a
good
great question.
question. That's a great question. No, absolutely not. It's kind of like it's in dental school you're learning how to crawl. So to think about, running a marathon, I'm telling you most people don't do it now. If you
Yeah.
can, props to you. You should. I think the main thing missing from dental school is that no one
It's like
teaches
business.
you how to
Yeah.
run a business at all, how to run a practice at all. I mean, if there's a program out there, please let me know. I'd love to see how they do it.
We are going to be speaking to a guy next Friday, so that might be interesting for you guys who are interested in practice ownership. He's opened up a practice on his own in London. He's 31 or 32, so he's very young. And they're doing very, very well. So we're going to talk to him on Friday. So if you guys are interested in practice ownership, it might be different across the world wherever you are, but I would think the kind of principles are similar. Kind of going out on your own, all the things you need to think about. I think that'd be quite interesting if people are interested in that one. So
yeah. So somebody asked us, so like, how did I learn? I'm assuming they're talking about practice ownership. It's a rough journey. You have to figure it out kind of by failing and doing, unfortunately. So how I'm trying to learn is I have some books, and they've been very helpful for a sort of very basic foundation. If you're interested in that, message me. I'll let you know which ones I recommend.
Cool.
And then as working as an associate, I have owners, doctors I work with that are running a business. You ask questions, and if you like them and they're good mentors, they will help you in that way. And then just by doing, honestly, just trying and Googling and all of that. There's so much to learn. I haven't even scratched the surface. And then, people who can also help you are people with business experience, even if they're not in dentistry.
Yeah.
There's principles that, go through both. So
I think a lot of it is kind of, oh, we have to have such and such, health codes, which have got to be kind of satisfied, your sterilization, all that kind of thing as well.
But that stuff is easier to figure out. Like, we're good at researching and knowing how to follow rules. Like, we can do that. What dentists, I think, are not as good at, and myself included, is more of keeping our overhead low, having the tough conversations with staff and running something streamlined and like being friendly, but running a tight ship and things like that actually make a business succeed. Like, we can get swamped down with, this needs to be the most perfect thing ever and I need to redo it 5 times to make it so good, and you're not going to make money that way. So do great work, but there's a balance, and just learning that I think takes time.
Dental school in America, how much are we talking? I think that's the question there from a channel.
Like, how much is dental school in America? Yeah. So, I mean, you have to look at private schools and state schools. If so each state, if you're a resident of that state, then you would qualify for the in-state tuition of that dental school. So that was my goal. I wanted to get into the best, cheapest school I thought I could get into. So I was a California resident, so I got into UCLA, so I got in-state tuition. So that, for example, saved me so much money than if I went to USC, which is private, so there's no in-state tuition in the same city. So, I mean, I think the average dental school debt is, don't quote me, but like around 300 to 350.
Yeah, and then you've got Western as well, which Cammy goes to Western. We can see him in the comments, and he says too much.
It's expensive. It's definitely something to consider.
Yeah,
I don't think you should let it totally sway you away, but think about it.
Yeah, obviously, if you can stay in state, then that's great. It's a different story if you're coming to the States to do it, because you're going to be paying full price everywhere. So, yeah, definitely need to think about that. It's not the cheapest thing to do in the world.
Totally.
Let's have a look.
Another question I got a few times was what advanced procedures I learned in my specific residency that I was thankful for. And would I do my program again? I would do my program again. I was very, very happy, more than I thought I would be, honestly, about my program. So some of the advanced procedures I was really thankful for. Again, I went into it just to remind everyone for more surgical experience and smile design experience. So I learned how to place implants. I never placed a single implant in dental school. So that was something I wanted to do. So I did my research and found that they placed a lot of implants. So we used BioHorizons and Astra implants, and I placed, it's been a while, but around 50. And we did full workups where we made surgical guides. Our patients got cone beam CTs. So that was really good in terms of the planning and learning that way, and then executing and then restoring too. So that was great. So implant experience. And then the other surgeries I got experience in were, we had a periodontist we worked with a lot. So I did quite a few, like honestly about 20, I would say, pocket elimination surgeries and crown lengthenings. So gum surgery. And then, frenectomies and gingivectomies. So those are so fun. So I learned how to do that, and I felt really comfortable doing those by the end. Would I always do those surgeries now? No, but am I afraid if I have to get in there? Not at all. So that was really good. And then in terms of the smile design, I did one full mouth rehabilitation case, which I learned so much from, and it took the whole year. And then I did another one full mouth up to the temporary stage. So he was in a full mouth of temporaries. So that those two were great learning experiences. And then the last thing is, and then I had a few other cases which were not full mouth, but crazy smile design cases, which mixed implants and crown lengthening and fixing a cant, like very challenging, that honestly, so much more challenging than you ever really experience in private practice, if I'm being honest. So it was great learning. So that's what I learned, and I'm very, very thankful for those opportunities.
Yeah, those sound really interesting, especially kind of the ability to place 50 odd implants. That puts you on a really good kind of keel to place it in the future if you want to do that kind of work, because supervised 50 implants is that's a big leg up, basically. If you imagine in the UK, I think it's 5 or 10 that they place supervised, and then you're on your own, or you need to find a mentor or something like that.
Totally. Mm-hmm. It was a great experience because you have to know how to troubleshoot things, and you only know how to do that when you run into the problems. I personally didn't want to run into problems for the first time when I'm on my own in private practice. No, I wanted to be with, like, there were 5 other dentists around who you learn different
things. All know what they're doing,
Yeah, so it's really great. It was really great.
One question in the comments there. I don't know whether you'll know anything about this. Are there any states in America where you can practice dentistry without having to retake exams if you're coming from the UK? I think the answer is no. Off the top of my head.
I'm not 100% because I wasn't an international student. I'm sorry, but I believe they took. Do you know what it's called?
NBDE Part 1 and 2.
They have to take the boards.
Yeah, and then the advanced standing program, which is actually in UCLA, one of them. I know there's a couple of guys who are doing that.
We
So
have one at our school, yeah.
yeah, yeah, you have to do it for all the states. I think the only way you can get around that is if you go straight into a master's program to become a specialist.
Yes.
But then you can only practice in certain states unless you go
Mhm.
back and do the 2 years of university again. So kind of it's no is the answer, I would say. Um,
Unfortunately.
yeah, I think it's a bit crazy that you have to do all that, but you kind of need to work out exactly what you want to be doing. And then there are places which will let you go there. Like I know that we can go to Australia or we can go to New Zealand without taking further exams for sure. And the same with like Dubai, we can go to the Middle East, but America and Canada, you have to do a lot more exams and
Hmm.
university to go back. Cool, good
Yeah, they
question.
definitely don't make it easy, and I think they make it quite expensive, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest. Um,
Um,
I
any
got
other questions?
another question that was asking like how you get through it and was residency draining. And at least for general dentistry, not specialty, I think most general dentistry programs are not draining at all. Actually, it's really fun because dental school, yes, very draining because you take your work home with you. You
Yeah.
see patients, you're studying, you're in the lab, and then you go home and then you have to study a bunch more. So that's draining. Whereas residency, it's like working 9 to 5, then you go home and there's tests and stuff, but it's nothing like dental school. So my co-residents and I, we really enjoyed it. We were always hanging out after, and it was like when you're at residency, like you make the most of it and pedal to the metal. But when you're home, it's more like relaxing. So I didn't find it draining at all.
Yeah, because is there examinations at the end of the residency program, or is it just get experience?
Some don't have any sort of tests. Mine had some here and there, but they weren't so serious
Yeah,
and it wasn't hard. It wasn't. And it wasn't the focus. The focus is your clinical skills.
yeah. I think that's kind of the way you want it to be because you've done all the hard work too.
Yeah.
8 years of university, 4 of undergrad, 4 more of dental school. This is the point where you just want to get good and not have to worry about midterms and boards and all these other things that are going to come
Exactly.
up. You just want to become like actually good at the thing.
Yeah. Now, if you're specializing, then definitely it's going to be like dental school 2.0, and it could be even harder,
Yeah.
right? Because you're learning new stuff. But general dentistry residencies, no, they're chill.
How would the preparation in dental school been different if you decided you wanted to do ortho or you wanted to do, an actual specialist level program? Would there have been a lot more kind of preparation you need to do for your kind of CV and your
Yeah.
applications?
Totally, yes, because specialty programs are very competitive. So I think if you want to specialize, then just like when you got into dental school, you need to focus on your grades again. So really making sure you have good grades. And unfortunately, I think they kind of care a lot about your class ranking, um,
Right.
which kind of makes a competitive atmosphere, but that's just the reality. So there's that. And then again, they want to make sure you really know that that specialty is for you. So having a lot of experience in it, be it the research in that specific specialty or volunteering in those clinics more, just getting in your time in that way. And then most, if not all, specialty programs require their own extra exam.
Yeah.
If it's PRE or like oral surgery has its own completely. So you definitely have to take that into account when you're going to study for that and make sure you have the proper scores.
Yeah, and kind of moving forward in the future, what kind of work do you see yourself doing? I know you want to maybe open a practice, an own practice somewhere, but will you be doing the cosmetic sort of full mouth rehab cases, or will it be like a bit more of a general dentist, but with an interest in something?
I think kind of the latter. Like I definitely love general dentistry, and I mean, there's no like cosmetic dentists. We're general dentists.
Yeah,
I know some dentists hate doing that sort of work and will punt it over. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I would definitely like to take those on. I think they're super fun and challenging, and it's really cool to have a good relationship with a dental lab you love and like work with them, and it's all exciting. So I love that. But I definitely love bread and butter general dentistry also. In terms of what I learned in residency and in private practice so far is you don't need to do everything. And in fact, you're honestly better if you don't do everything. Yeah. Decide early on in residency or your first year in practice, what are your strengths and weaknesses and what you enjoy and don't enjoy, and then get really good at those. So for me, molar endo, no, I hate it. It's not fun. It's stressful. I've done it. I can do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to put all my eggs in the molar endo basket. I'm going to definitely refer my endo.
If your patients want to come to England, you can send them my way, because I'm looking at an endo specialty.
You like to do everything I hate to do.
Yeah, I would happily just do endos all day, and that's probably my plan in the future, is just to sit there under the microscope. I'll sit there with, I think I spoke to someone yesterday, and they were like, actually, it was the guy who's going to open his own practice. We spoke for an hour and a half on the phone about this kind of live we're doing next week. He was just like, yeah, I don't do any endo. The other guy does it all. I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. And
yeah, those relationships.
He says five patients a day. Doesn't that sound just perfect?
That's crazy. Yeah, that does sound really nice.
But yeah, that's kind of my plan. Is that one of your friends in the comments? I think.
No, I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is. Okay, it's not one of your friends.
Very nice.
No one ever says that about me. Well, especially
my fans. We're good. How are you?
Awesome. So yeah, Wahid, I'm from the UK. Shahira's from LA / Arizona. Arizona, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I did my research. Yeah, and the other thing kind of that's interesting is, how do you see kind of dentistry within the States going? Because there's a lot of inequality, and we've kind of seen this kind of blow up recently, with all the protests that are going on with certain communities who've got less and less access. Do you see there being some way that you can kind of do a bit of both in your working life?
You mean like in terms of like socioeconomic status and like helping deprived of dental access to care?
Yeah, because obviously you can do all this amazing smile design and planning, but that comes
of course. Yeah, so something I'm very passionate about since dental school, and I don't like to always just like kind of talk about the volunteering or the things donate, but since you're asking, community clinics and providing free care to people without access otherwise, particularly with children, has like been a big passion of mine. And I did that. I organized many clinics in dental school, and it's just super rewarding, right? Because we're as healthcare professionals, we go into it because we want to help people. Like, let's be real. There's a lot of easier ways to make money. So if you don't have a drive to help people, it's just not for you. So sometimes in private practice, although we are helping people, we get them out of pain and that feels good, or we help them with their appearance and their confidence and that feels good. There's nothing comparable to like truly helping people who don't have another option. Yeah. So that's for sure something I will always keep doing. And like I said, my particular interest when I'm doing volunteer work is with children. And it's funny you say that. Before all this coronavirus,
which I don't have, by the way, just,
Yeah, I don't know. I heard you sneeze. Yeah. Like I said, I'm Lebanese, and I have plans to hopefully, after coronavirus stuff, to do a community clinic there, like once a year or something like that, for the orphans and refugees and things like that. There's an organization called the Madrar Foundation that's building a hospital there, and so that's also something I'm passionate about. But for now, it's on
cool.
Pause. Coronavirus pause.
Yeah, big pause. That sounds really cool. I've always wanted to go on one of these trips, abroad, to either a camp or somewhere, and do this kind of treatment where the people literally haven't got another choice. They can't go anywhere else, and they haven't got the ability to go and do these things. And I think it's important for guys like us who have some sort of a platform. I have no idea why people follow me, by the way, but but for guys like us who have some sort of platform to kind of push these things a little bit and say, actually, there are things you can do, whatever kind of level you are, as a
100%,
dentist.
whatever level you are. This is true. And like I said, like it's fun and rewarding to go to other countries and help, but I love to do it as well. But it's also important to give back to your own community. There's always people in need right in your backyard. Like you don't need to, go overseas to do that. So that's also important.
Do they do electives in university, e.g. in Kenya? Do you mean going to like Kenya and places like that, Zama? I think he's saying like people do some time within you. Does that happen in the States where you'll go abroad for a couple of months, while you're in university and go and work in a I don't know, like in the Philippines, for example?
In dental school?
Yeah, it happened in the UK, so we call it an elective.
Yeah, there's elective trips for sure in different clubs that do that, usually during the breaks. Like I don't think you're allowed to go to school to do that, but yeah, definitely. I went on one to Nicaragua even before dental school. So.
Yeah, I never managed to actually go on one because we had the option of either going or we could stay in university, and because loads of people were going, you would get one-to-one tuition and one-to-one nursing. So I was like, oh, that sounds better than spending a load of money to go somewhere. But I kind of wish I'd done it. Like I think it was swings and roundabouts. It would have been good to go, but it was also good to stay. So
yeah. I mean, you're so young. There's going to be so many opportunities to make an impact in an even bigger way.
Yeah, I hope so for sure. I'm not that young. 28 this year.
Oh my God, that's young.
As in the final years of dental school, go to Manchester. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, mate. That's definitely an option to go somewhere and do those kind of bits and pieces in university.
That's crazy. We don't do anything like that. I didn't know this.
We had the opportunity. It wasn't Kenya for us. Like there were a number of different programs you could go to. You could go all over the place, and there were some really interesting places. People like to go to like Fiji and places like that for obvious reasons.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to go to Fiji? Wait, but do you have to pay for it all yourself? Like,
yeah, so it was quite expensive, probably around 3,000 or 4,000
on top of your dental school tuition.
Yeah.
Oh.
For us, it's not so bad though, because we only pay in the UK 9,000 a year, and when I was doing it, it was 3,000.
Wow. Yeah, that's different here.
Yeah, we don't sign away our lives so much.
Yeah, we do.
We're getting that way. We're getting that way for sure. Any further questions that we've got? One thing I've been doing, which is quite fun, I've been asking my guests to put their 5 most used emojis on just for a little bit of a laugh.
Oh my gosh, my 5 most used emojis.
Yeah.
I think the laughing face, like pretty much every day. The kissy face, because gotta spread that love. The party blowing one.
Those are my 5 there.
Oh really? Oh my gosh, what else? Oh, the monkey going like this.
Oh
like,
yeah, the what you saying face.
Uh-oh. Yeah. That's 4 or 5.
I think you've done 4. You've got 1 more left.
I think the prayer hands one. Yeah.
Just crying in the comments, I think.
That's my sister.
Yeah. No, I think like guys, have you got any more questions? Do you have any more on your sticker? I think we've been through kind of the ones that I had.
Yeah, I think we did really good. I went through the questions that I kept getting over and over. So hopefully that was helpful and answered your question. And then you guys, if you ever have more questions about residency or dental school, I get DMs all the time and I love to answer them. So feel free to DM me and I'll help you out if I can.
Yeah, perfect. Let's have a little look. Someone was saying, lucky you, mate, 80k in dental school. In the UK? You must be an out of, what's it called, international student, because I'm pretty sure it's 9 only. Yeah.
I can move to the UK.
We're doing pretty badly with the corona, so you might want to wait.
I know, right? I don't think I want to travel anywhere right now.
I really want to go away, actually, because you're stuck. Well, it was raining horribly early on. And I just think I just needed to sit on a beach for a while.
I
You're
know.
lucky that,
Well,
you're
I'm
in
lucky
LA
I
and you
live
can,
right next to one, but
I need to
I
come out
think we
to
could
LA
all
some
use a
point.
vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've answered a lot of the questions. I can't think of anything that we didn't really cover. Um, I think one thing's really important actually is kind of stress management, and it's something that I missed out on doing a live on. I don't know why, but kind of mental health awareness and kind of
That's
what.
so important. And you should,
Yeah,
even if you touch on it now, you should do one on that. That's so important.
no, because there was a guy that I had in mind, but I just couldn't get anything organized in time. What are the things that you do kind of maybe when you were in dental school, when things were a little bit more high stakes? Obviously, it sounds
Yeah.
like your AEGD was super,
It was
super
so,
chill.
yeah. I mean, anyone in my class will tell you I was probably the least equipped to handle my stress. That's just me being honest. So that's why I feel so passionate about this. Your mental health is everything, you guys, and dental school feels like everything when you're in it, but it's not. And you're gonna
Mm,
be okay. And if you're trying your hardest, it's so much easier said than done, but that's all you can do, and then live your life. So I think the first and foremost, it seems simple, but I never let myself do this for some reason, is take breaks. I just felt
yeah,
so guilty taking a break, and you don't work at full capacity if you don't take breaks. So get your work done, have your schedule, but schedule in those breaks. Even 5 minutes here and there during studying can be really helpful. And then another thing is, after big exam days, like we were kind of talking about, don't do anything the next day. You need to like mentally recharge.
yeah. Just
That's gonna,
lie around, go and eat
yeah,
all day.
yeah, just, and don't talk about the test, things like that. And then the last thing I want to stress, that I didn't do in dental school, but I
Mm,
do now, and I can't believe I never did this earlier, is you need to exercise and drink water and eat healthy. I always saw exercising as a luxury, that I was too busy, so I couldn't do it. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, it's part of your necessities for life
yeah.
to clearly to be healthy and to manage stress. It manages your stress so much. So don't think of it as I can't work out because I need to study. Get in. It doesn't have to be like 3-hour workouts. 30 minutes, get your heart rate up, do it every day, and that's a good skill you need for life, like even in
Mm,
private practice. And stretching.
yeah.
Stretching.
Core workouts, yoga, stuff like that, just
Yes.
to keep you active.
Yeah, dentistry is very physical. That's something no one ever talks about, like your neck, your back. You need to be strong. You need, like he said, strong core, and then good stretching. It's good for stress management for sure. And then I know meditation is very helpful for a lot of people. I'm still working on the other things I mentioned, so I haven't gotten there, but that would be the next step, I think.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I struggle with a little bit as well, because I'm a bit much of an all in or nothing guy. So if I was
I'm
revising,
exactly the same way. And
if I was
why do
revising,
we
I was
think like
only
that?
revising.
Yeah, I'm like, if I can't, go to the gym and work out for 2 hours, like this perfect thing, and like mark down all my PRs, then I don't want to do it. And it's like, why? You can do, like, we know now, coronavirus, you can do a quick 30-minute thing at home and just feel better.
Mm.
So,
I've been struggling with that as well, because normally I'm just like, when I was doing a lot of gym and stuff like that, I went really into the gym and I was like, oh, I need to count my calories, I need to count this, I need to count that,
yeah,
and that takes time. And then I wasn't studying, so I didn't do so well in some exams. And then when
yeah,
I was like, actually, I need to get better with the work side of things, then I just stopped going to the gym. I was like, okay, I'm going to the library 12 hours a day now. And then I never
yeah.
really, until the very last year, never really got that middle point where I was doing a bit of both, or a bit of
I'm still
socializing.
kind of like that, but like I said, it's a work in progress, and getting rid of that mindset for me was
Mm,
really important. And honestly, this quarantine time has helped me realize that a little more, even
yeah.
kind of
No,
forced you to not focus on those things and more about your mental health and physical health. And that's something I'm going to carry on post quarantine for sure. And I think you should definitely start doing in dental school. That's like my number one recommendation.
yeah, it's super difficult, but once you kind of clock it, uh,
Hmm.
I think your grades will go up as well. I think that's pretty well
Yeah.
documented.
You'll be less stressed, more happy, more relaxed. for sure. It's only going to help you. So,
Yeah. If I graduate as an Iraqi dental student, can I work in Europe? I think yes, but there might be further exams you need to do. Question for me, not for you today. First one. By the way, is it possible to get a training post in a specialty in the UK? Some dentists were told you have to have experience beforehand. Yeah, it's not easy to get onto them. There's two ways you can go. There's the NHS hospital route, which is super, super competitive because you get paid the whole way through it, but you don't get paid a lot, but you do get paid. And that takes about 8 years. And you have to be doing research, you have to be doing undergraduate training, all those kind of bits and pieces. And then afterwards, you can choose what specialty you're going to be because you're going to have done a lot of work. The other one is kind of similar to the States where you pay your way. It's still competitive, but you're looking at 50 grand a year. But in 2 years, you're going to be a specialist. So you can do it. And they generally want 2 or 3 years experience after university before you can get onto those. So I hope that answers the question.
sounded pretty thorough to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the whole thing about your mental health and things like that, it's something that dentists need to keep on top of because we have a very, I would say, if you're in the wrong job and the wrong frame of mind, you can be very lonely as a dentist because it's just you in a room with a nurse, as opposed to, office workers where there's loads of people around and things like that. So you do need to look
I
after
mean,
yourself.
people love to tell us like, oh, dentists, you guys have the #1 suicide rate, those crazy stats. They're kind of there it's coming from somewhere, right? Like you can't ignore it. So practice gratitude, live a more balanced life. Don't focus so much on dentistry 24/7 and you will be happier. And then you can really focus on the benefits of our career as opposed to just constantly dealing with the stress related to it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think part of it is as well, if you're not comfortable doing a certain treatment because you don't think you've got the experience, just don't do it. Just send it to someone else.
That's
not
the
worth
beauty
that.
of being a general dentist. We get to refer whatever we don't like or what we're not good at.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that can take a lot of the stress away. I don't know enough about NBDE, sorry. There is a YouTube video. If you have a click on my bio, there's a link there to a YouTube video with a tooth geek who's actually at UCLA. She's doing the advanced standing program. So if you want to know a bit more about that, then check that video out. She knows way more about it than I do because she's gone through the whole system. How are things in the States now? And it's because we didn't do it last week or the week before because of BLM. Has everything kind of settled down, or are we still going?
I think there's still some protests going on. Definitely more of the peaceful ones now. But it's interesting. We're seeing with all of the protests, and obviously that's large amounts of people gathering. I was reading on the news that there's potentially big spikes in coronavirus. So we'll see how that. I mean, can only imagine what's going to happen. Hopefully things stay under control because I know the last thing all of us want to do is go back to social isolation mode again. Things literally just started opening up in LA when the protests kind of happened and things went back to being closed and now they're opening again. So people are hopeful. I feel like things being open is allowing for some normalcy and helping with a lot of people's just spirits in general. So hopefully there is no spike so that we don't have to go back to that because I know I'm not ready to.
No, it wasn't easy. I mean, we're still kind of in a lockdown-ish, but we never had a proper lockdown anyway. So I don't know how it's going to affect us. It usually takes 3 weeks apparently. So there were I know in Pakistan, they went out, a lot of people went out for Eid and mixed. It took 3 weeks for the mixing results to come back and become another wave. So hopefully we won't have anything too drastic again, but we're going to have to see. Hello, Badr, how you doing? And Dentist NHD is off. Oh, no, is she back? Your eye color is blue. Well spotted.
Yeah. Marhaba.
any last questions, guys? We've got about 5 minutes left. I think we've kind of covered a lot of the things we're going to touch on, weren't we? I thought we were going to take a bit longer with the programs, but I think we were quite concise, which is good for the guys.
Yeah, let me see if I had anything left.
We had why AEGD, GPR, kind of answered that. What point did we size? The cost, other programs. Did you consider a formal specialty program? Did we speak about that?
Yeah, I mean, before dental school and in my first year of dental school, I considered doing ortho. But again, once I got experience in that area, I kind of lost interest. So
Yeah.
Definitely go into school with an open mind, and do your research before committing to something that you might not like. But other than that, I kind of knew I wanted to do general dentistry. One question, I don't know if I answered, was, does my program, my residency program I did, do a lot of molar endo? And actually, no. I would say the weakness, if you want to view it that way, for me, I didn't, because I don't like endo, is there was not a lot of endo experience in my program.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was more the surgery and the smile design stuff. So if you are looking to do endo, not my program. Do your research on a different one.
Yeah, I think endo is you have to do an entire program on its own, because there is as much to learn with endo as there is with everything else, but kind of not put together maybe, but it takes so long to do an endo to start with. You know, just in terms of time, you can only see a certain number of patients, and to get good at it, you're going to have to do hundreds to get to that level. So yeah. Imagine it's difficult to have a program which encompasses everything in what, 1 year?
Yeah, to really. Now I know there are programs where that's one of the main focuses. So if you're interested, you can find it. But if you love endo, maybe consider doing endo also. Because I feel like as GPs, it's one thing if you want to perfect doing anterior and premolar endo, and it's another to be doing maxillary first molar endo, in my opinion. You can do it. Yeah. It's just it's very difficult, like you said, and it takes a lot of time to do it right.
You need magnification. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, you need proper equipment,
cone beam, and all kinds of things. So yeah, but no, I think we've kind of come to a natural conclusion. So thank you so much for coming on. I think this has been really interesting for the guys. I hope we'll be able to catch up again at some point, find out what you're up to, and hopefully you don't go back into lockdown, because you really don't want to.
I know. Well, thank you for having me. This was so fun. And yeah, anytime. My first Instagram live. Yeah. What a success.
Yeah, we've done very well. Guys who are watching, thank you for joining us. If you've been enjoying kind of all the Instagram lives and the features I've been doing, first of all, if you want to feature, just DM me and we'll sort something out. But apart from that, if you want to support what's going on Dents of Insta, have a little look in my bio. There's a Patreon link, and you can kind of support what I'm doing here. I'm hoping to take the podcast full time, so that would be really cool if guys would support me doing that. But yeah, thank you all for joining us, and turn on post notifications and live notifications for next time.
Awesome,
guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Take care.